Good morning. Actually, good afternoon, YouTube. I stayed up till 5 a.m. last night and I got up at 12. And 7 hours of sleep is a beautiful thing. So, you wanted to get into real estate. You've seen a bunch of videos and we buy houses, and someone gave you the great idea that you're going to buy a house and fix it up and rent it and rehab it and RRR and rinse and repeat. But what kind of stuff are you getting into? What are you getting into, YouTube? Let me show you. This house is, or this extra unit rather, it's not in too bad of shape, but I have significantly higher standards than the last owners do. So let's go over some stuff we've been working on. So this window has been giving me a lot of grief. There was a lot of ugly openings here, so we went ahead and sheetrocked all that. I've got the front face almost completely done. Maybe just a little bit there, just a little bit here. I'm gonna have to take the scraper or the trowel and kind of come like out like that. So I got just a little mismatch there. I'm a little proud there, but that's okay. I'm getting into the paper, the sheetrock, so that can't really be avoided. That's gonna come down a little bit, and then that edge is on the top, so I need to kind of come across and grab that. Let's see, what other fun things do we have going on here? Let me show you this. Yeah, so that happened. I don't know what that's about, but that's super cool. This is how you flush the toilet after you flush the toilet. So hopefully that's just a, uh, clogged drain or something. We have a little vanity here. Gotta fix these drawers, and I swear these things are the bane of my existence. I've had so many places where these stupid drains just don't work right. Drives me crazy. Wow, that smells kind of bad too. Gonna have to get this, cut just a little bit. Maybe I'll see if I can work on that today. God, I gotta open this window. That is horrific. Light. Light doesn't work actually, so I do sort of need to take a look at that. This door, let's see, I put this piece of 1x up. There was a door here. I think it was an original garage door or something. I'm not really sure because it's heavy as sin. But when the door opened, it opened like right into the toilet, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that, so I think I'm going to put it on the outside here where it can open out all the way. Yeah, it's kind of poor design. When they built this unit, if they were thinking a little harder, they would have pulled this wall back just enough, or made the doorway. I guess you don't really want to make the doorway more narrow, but I don't know, like if they put the toilet in this corner and the vanity over here, then the door would probably open, but that's besides the point. We have some loose tile here, or cracked tile. You can see the cracks there. So this one and this one are cracked. Miraculously, I actually have two of these tiles outside. So the trick is, can I remove these tiles without botching up the rest of them? I mean, it's not the end of the world. I could repair it if I had to, but what I'm actually thinking of is taking those tiles out, putting two new good tiles on top, and then somehow deburring the edges, because those edges are super sharp. Like this edge has been sort of rounded out, but this cracked edge is enough. I mean, you slice your foot, you drag it across that edge wrong, so I really can't leave it. Which actually makes me think, if I really wanted to be lazy, I mean, the tile's kind of moving around, so I want to put it down anyways and maybe kind of take a look at the subfloor as well. But I wonder if I could just kind of like burr down that crack and then fill it in with grout and just leave it. That's a little too ghetto for me. But so I think I'll do is I'll take these pieces, try to keep them kind of big, and then rent a tile saw or something, I don't know, and then tile this in sort of more of a mosaic pattern with a bunch of pieces, but whatever. Or maybe I won't even worry about trying to. I'll just sort of get somewhat similar tile to that and put it down here, because I could do a few things here. I could put some wood here, which is a little bit weird. I could just plaster over that, which is kind of crappy. I could put sheetrock and then patch it up, but that's also not the greatest for waterproofness. Wet people come in and out of the shower. So tile is sort of the best option for right here. Anyways. Yeah, I think we have this area out here fairly well plastered. It just needs to get primered a little bit. We have a little bit of termite damage over here in the corner, which is so sad. And in fact, they had some over here too, and they ended up just plastering over it. And forgive me, YouTube, I'm actually considering doing that. And the reason is, this floor is a little hoopty, and one thing you gotta be careful about in construction is that you don't get too crazy with the rehab stuff. It's only, it's only an extra unit. And considering how much stuff is so funky with this place, it's never gonna be like a shining star. I'm trying to get it at least to where the first impression when you walk in is, oh, this is not so bad. I don't want it to be like, oh, this is cracked, this is broken, this doesn't work, there's a hole over here. I want it to be a somewhat comfortable place to live, especially considering I'm going to be charging probably $1,000 with a parking spot, maybe $900 without the parking spot. I sort of like my back patio area. I don't really want someone else's car in there, but that being said, parking in my area, it's really not great. So I don't know what a good solution to that is. If I Airbnb'd it, I wouldn't have to worry about people parking here as much. And that is still something I'm considering. Thing is, the place is just a little hoopty, and if you get a couple bad reviews on Airbnb, like, oh, obviously I would fix like the water coming up and stuff like that, but the online world can be kind of harsh sometimes, or at least the online representation of the physical world can be a little harsh. We have the kitchen here. The kitchen needs a little bit of work. I'm going to paint the cabinets. I tested out putting a coat on the inside here, which is just this horrid brown color. So I think I'll just put another coat. I'll sand a little bit, clean it up, put a couple coats of primer, call it good. Take all the doors off, sand, patch the cabinets, clean those up a little bit. I believe it's granite countertop with this actually a somewhat nice backsplash over here. So we'll leave that. The stove leaks. Something about the stove, either the gas line or something in the stove leaks fairly profusely when you turn the gas on, so I have to deal with that, which is going to be a little bit of a pain. If it's the line, that'd be great, but if it's the unit, that would be a little annoying. This drawer face is not here. This whole drawer is not here. I don't know if it had to do with the fact that it was under the stove, or I don't know. Maybe they hid it, or they threw it away, or there was a bunch of nasty stuff in it. I really couldn't tell you. So we're gonna take these doors off, paint all this, sand it. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I'm sort of considering just going with primer white for the final, just like regular primer for the final coat. There's a couple reasons for this. One, it's less work. Two, I don't know if an Airbnb person or a tenant would really care that much given everything else that's going on with the place. Three, I can pretend that it's better for the environment, which it is, because anytime you make a product, it consumes part of the environment. And you can't recycle paint. Once you turn all those elements into paint, you ain't getting anything back but old paint. So there's really no reason to buy 2 gallons of paint just to paint it a slightly different color when it's, white is clean enough. The outside, I'll show you the outside later. It's sort of, oh my gosh, it's not super exciting. Cute little area fenced in here. There's a couple weird things outside. What really kills me is all this homemade, my favorite friend over there, is all this homemade concrete. Apparently they had some flooding issues, so they laid all this concrete out sort of really sloppily. You can see just a pile there. And then they built this, which is just a joke of construction. So normally when you have these long rafters here, you're going to have a solid 2x6, 2x8, whatnot, kind of like our neighbor friend who's building things slightly more professionally. Be quiet, dog. But here, this guy, like, sistered up these rafters in the middle with these plates. So, well, I'm gonna come back, YouTube, but anyways, stay safe, have fun, and keep prepping.